Hello yogis! So today I prepared a sequence for you where it's great if you're traveling because no mat is needed, or if you're outside in the park and you want to get some yoga on but you don't have a mat with you. So this will be perfect. So we'll start standing up. We're not going to come down to the floor at all, but we'll start to warm up. Just stand up nice and tall. You can rock back and forth until you feel balanced on your feet in mountain pose. Just find some movement. And then once you get still, let's start with some neck rolls to warm up from head to toe, rolling side to side. Don't forget to breathe. You can focus on your breathing. And then bring your head back to neutral, shake it out a little bit, and we're going to warm up the shoulders, do some rolls towards the back. Big circles with your arms. And then change direction. We're going to go forwards. And then on an inhale, we're going to raise our arms right up, taking our gaze with it. Hands come together in prayer and let them slide down towards your heart center. Interlace your fingers and tuck your chin to your chest and open up your shoulders. Let's try that a couple times. We're going to release our hands down to come up. Bring them together. Slide it down, opening your chest. Interlace your fingers. Push everything out, rounding your upper back. Let's try that one more time. You're going to release your hands down to come up. Let your hands slide down. Interlace your fingers, press out and long, tucking your chin to your chest. And releasing your hands, bring them up one more time. We're going to go for a little side bend here. Standing up nice and tall, grab onto your right wrist and lift up and over to the left side. Use your core to come back up nice and tall. We're going to switch to the other side. Grabbing a hold of the left wrist, up and over, and lean to your right. Coming back up, extend both arms. You can do a slight back bend, opening up your chest if that feels okay. And come up nice and tall and release your arms. Let the blood flow back to your fingertips. And we're just going to add some little twists in there, going from side to side. You can warm up your hips by coming up onto your toes. Might feel a few adjustments in your back. And then we can't forget about our wrists and our ankles, so slow your roll down. And we're going to bring our fingers together, start to make some movement, opening up our wrists, and doing a few calf raises. So we're going to come up onto our toes, a little yoga for the mind as you try and juggle both poses. Come up onto your toes. You can change directions with your wrist. And then release your hands. Keep going up and down onto your toes. And just do some wrist circles. All right, just two more. Lifting right up onto your toes, engage your calves. One more. And let everything go. And shake it on out. All right, we're gonna get moving here. So get right back into your mountain pose, shoulders back and down. We're gonna go for some rolls. So we're gonna lift our arms up, keep with that calf raises, so we're going to come for a balance up onto our toes, reaching up for the sky. And then heels come down, hinge at the hips, and fold forward. You can inhale to halfway lift. Your hands can come up your leg, shoulders back and down, and fold. Let's bend your legs to roll yourself up. Hands come right back overhead, and lift up onto your toes for a little balance. Heels come down and hinge forward and fold. Inhaling to halfway lift, shoulders away from the ears, and fold forward. Have a bend in your knees as you're rolling up. Let's go for one last little roll, coming up onto your toes. Heels come down, hinge forward. Halfway lift, long spine, and fold forward. Tuck the chin to your chest, slight bend in the knees, roll all the way up, hands come overhead, one last little toe balance. And then come back into your mountain pose. Hands come down, heels come down. All right, we're gonna switch into the next, we're gonna do a warrior sequence. So we're gonna step our left foot back into a warrior 2 pose. So just take a big wide step back. You can kind of shimmy your feet until you find a good, comfortable stance, nice and strong. And then hands come out and look over your right fingertips. Make sure your knee stays in line with your ankle. We're just gonna flow through this a little bit. So we're just gonna straighten our legs, look over to the side, arms come up. And then exhale, extend our arms out long, looking over the front fingertips. Let's try that 2 more times. We're inhaling up. And then exhaling, sinking a little bit deeper. Let's try one more time. Reaching everything up. And then exhaling, reaching down into your warrior 2. All right, we're gonna reverse the warrior so the left hand can come to the hip, flip the front palm up and reach up and over. Opening up that side body. Then we're gonna flow through to side angle pose. So we're gonna come forward, right elbow to the top of that thigh, and left arm extends up and over. We're gonna switch to triangle pose. So we're gonna flow through warrior 2, just to set up. Coming up, straighten your legs, hips go back, reach forward, and dip down into triangle pose. You can look up if that feels okay, or look down at the ground. You can keep your hands resting on your ankle or your calf, and open your chest. Slight bend in that front knee. We're gonna come back through our warrior 2. Bring the hands down to the hips. Pivot our toes in, so we're a little bit pigeon-toed here. Wide stance. We're gonna shift our hips forward and open our chest. And then have a strong back and coming forward into a forward fold. And once you can't go any farther, you can release, round forward a little bit. Your hands can slide down to your ankles. And if you want, you can find a little movement shifting side to side. And then we're gonna bring our hands back towards our hip, use our legs and our back to bring ourselves right up to standing. We're gonna switch to the other side. So our left toes are gonna turn out, and we're gonna set up for warrior 2 on the other side. Extend our arms out nice and long. Readjust your feet if you need to. And then we're gonna just flow a little bit in this pose. So we're coming up, straightening the legs, lifting the arms, and sinking back down. 2 more times like that. Lifting up, and sinking down. Let's go one more time. Straighten everything up, and then come on deeper into your warrior 2. Right hand comes to your hip. We're gonna flip that front palm and lift it up and over. And then transition to our side angle pose. Left elbow to the thigh. Right arm comes up overhead. Shoulders away from the ears. And try not to put all your weight into that left hand. Coming through warrior 2, we're gonna shift into triangle. So we're straightening both legs, reaching forward, and then dipping down. Triangle pose. Try not to hyperextend the front knee. Keep your leg engaged. All right, we're gonna exit, bending that front leg to come up. Through warrior 2, pivot those feet once more into a wide-legged forward fold. Hands on the hips, we can just open up before we dive down. Slight little back bend, and then shifting forward. Almost fell. Your hands can slide down towards your ankles if you want. Find a little movement. Right, hands can come to the hips. Strong back, strong legs. Bring yourself right up. We're gonna shimmy our feet in just a little bit for goddess pose. Toes slightly pointed out. Try and sink down, pushing your knees out. The hands can come to the insides of the leg here. And we're gonna add a few stretches. So we're gonna drop our right shoulder and twist and look over our left. And then drop our left shoulder into the center and look over our right. Let's do that one more time. Twisting over to the left. And twisting over, looking over your right shoulder. All right, just use your core to bring yourself back up, and we're gonna shimmy our feet in just a little bit closer, squatting distance. Toes out, heels slightly in. And we're gonna come up onto our toes. Hands can come out for balance if you want, and as we squat all the way down into a deep squat. If it's available to you, your heels can come right to the floor. If not, it's okay, stay up on your toes and just find a little bit of movement. Your elbows can come on the inside of your knees, and your hands together at prayer. You can find some stillness if you'd like. Try and open your chest and sit up nice and tall. And then engage your core, engage your glutes, and we're gonna bring ourselves all the way up to standing. And then you can shake it out. All right, next little version, we're gonna practice some Warrior 3. So just reset in mountain pose. All right, we're gonna lift our hands up. Bring them together in prayer and let them slide down towards our chest. And then we're gonna go for a little balance and modified tree. So our right leg is gonna come up to about 90 degrees. Keep that foot flexed. Don't forget to breathe. Now we're gonna step that foot back, sweeping the hands down towards the ground, folding over our left leg, and the arms come up and over, and keep them nice and engaged, like you're holding a big bouncy ball there, so you're keeping your hands active. And then shifting your right forward, transitioning to Warrior 3, so you can keep everything in towards your core. Hands can come to your heart if you want, and then extend everything out nice and long to Warrior 3. Have an open chest, as if you're doing a mini cobra in your upper back. Toes pointed towards the ground, and use your back body muscles and your hamstring. We're gonna bring ourselves to standing, keeping that right leg lifted. We're gonna bring it all the way back to where we started in our modified tree. Keep your chest open. And then with control, let's sit right down into a chair. So we're gonna bring our right foot to meet our left. Hands can come up overhead, squeezing your legs together, and sit down into your chair. Keep your core tight. And then hands come down, push up, and shake it out. All right, very good. We're just gonna try that on the other side. So you regain your mountain pose. We're gonna switch. We're putting the weight in our right leg this time. Arms come overhead. They come together and slide down towards your heart center. Shoulders back and down. Let's lift our left leg up. Try not to lean back. Our left leg's at a 90-degree angle. Then we're sweeping our arms down and back, stepping that foot about a foot behind our, and folding over our right leg. The toes can pop up. Feel a nice stretch in your hamstring here. And keep active arms. Shift your weight forward so we can transition into Warrior 3. Balancing on our right leg. Hands can be extended or at your heart as your body comes forward into your Warrior 3. Point your lifted toes towards the ground. Keep your hips square. And then with control, use your muscles to bring yourself up to standing, keeping that left leg coming through all the way back to the beginning, lifted, standing up nice and strong. And we're gonna step right into our chair. So the left foot comes down, legs squeezing in towards each other, arms come up, abs are engaged, and sit down into your chair. If you were to look down, you would see your toes, so you're sitting back in your chair. And then push everything up and shake it on out. All right, so we're just gonna do one last little exercise because that was mostly all on our legs. So stand up nice and tall. This one's for the arms. It's gonna feel a little funny, but you're gonna feel the burn. So let's bring the arms out and extend them long beside you actually. And we're gonna make tiny little circles, first going towards the back of the room. And we're gonna do this for 30 seconds before we switch directions. So we had to get our arms involved somehow. Just keep your legs engaged, your core can be engaged, and be a full body workout if you'd like. And just 15 more seconds going towards the back. All right, 5 more seconds. And then we're going to change direction, so keep your arms lifted, spreading out nice and long, and we're doing tiny little circles towards the front of the room this time. You might start to feel the heat in your shoulders. And just focus on your breathing if it gets tough. Ten more seconds. And let your hands go. There you go. Shake it out. Very nice. All right. So that was our sequence for, you can always do it if you have a mat, but if not, this one is a great video to watch. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.